Hi, my name is Heather the Heat Hardy, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
This is Amanda, the real deal Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Hi, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Janita.
And you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, trainer Derrick James of Unified Welterweight Superstar Boxer, WBC, IBF Welterweight World Champion, Errol the True Spence Jr. Derrick James had this to say regarding the mega showdown between his fighter and undefeated WBO Welterweight Superstar Boxer, pound for pound fighter, Terence Bud Crawford. Just doesn't make sense at the moment. He says that he believes that Terence Crawford needs to face the upper echelon in the welterweight division before Errol Spence and him and his fighter, Errol Spence and Crawford get it on. He says that, pretty much the fight would be bigger if Terence Crawford, beat a Sean Porter. He needs to fight a Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, that caliber of a fighter. He's basically saying that Terence Crawford hasn't done anything in the welterweight division to garner him fighting his fighter, Errol Spence, in a unification bout. Terence Crawford beat Jeff Horn, who beat Manny Pacquiao for the WBO title. Terence Crawford then went on to beat Jose Benavidez. Then Terence Crawford beat Amir Khan. And then Terence Crawford beat Kavaluskas, the Mean Machine. These are Terence Crawford's 4 fights at the welterweight division. Derrick James feels like Errol Spence is carrying the load when it comes to the welterweight division. And why should his fighter, Spence, face off against Crawford and give Crawford the opportunity, and he's doing all the heavy lifting, meaning that he's fighting the best fights. Errol Spence fought Showtime Sean Porter. He fought Mikey Garcia in his last 2 fights. Errol Spence is highly rumored to face 2-division world champion, former 2-division world champion, and unified junior welterweight world champion, Danny Swift Garcia, in his next bout, in his comeback bout. A lot of people, a lot of the fans of boxing pundits are calling for Terence Crawford to fight bigger names. Now, you can't overlook any opponent in boxing because this is the sport of boxing. So you just can't overlook any opponent. But with that said, everybody wants to see Terence Crawford in there with a Sean Porter, with a Danny Garcia, with a Keith Thurman, right? Errol Spence has campaigned at the welterweight division majority of his career. I think he had 1 fight that was above welterweight, if I'm not mistaken, and I could definitely be wrong. But for the majority of his career, he's campaigned at the welterweight division. Terence Crawford campaigned at 135, 140, and now 47. So Errol Spence has been looking to land those mega fights with Keith Thurman. He's been looking to land those mega fights with Sean Porter. He's been chasing down Danny Garcia. This all prior to Terence Crawford even making his debut in the welterweight division. So they feel like Terence Crawford needs to wait. And Errol Spence himself don't believe that. Errol Spence is 26-0, 21 knockouts, and Derrick James feels that way. Errol Spence doesn't feel that way. Errol Spence would take on any fight that's presented to him. That's a big fight. I'm pretty sure Errol Spence, like he stated, he don't want a tune-up fight. He wants Danny Garcia. He wants Manny Pacquiao, and then he wants Terence Crawford. This is what Errol Spence stated, right? Errol Spence wants the names he's been calling out this entire time, right? He's been calling out Sean Porter. He got the fight. He unified the belts. He's calling out Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman fought Manny Pacquiao. He lost. So it looks like Errol Spence is looking to get the Manny Pacquiao fight, right? These fights are easy to make. Errol Spence doesn't have the share, joint networks, different promotional companies as Terence Crawford is with Top Rank and ESPN. Errol Spence is with Al Heyman and the PBC. So, Errol Spence said that he's good with Terence Crawford fight. He's good with Manny Pacquiao fight. And more than likely, he'll get the Danny Garcia fight next. Danny Garcia got in the ring. So they happen to be on his side of the street, quote unquote, so to speak, right? I don't believe that Errol Spence is avoiding Terence Crawford. and I don't believe Terence Crawford is avoiding Errol Spence. Terence Crawford, once upon a time, said it's both parties involved. He blamed Bob Arum and he blamed Al Heyman for the fight not coming to fruition. Derrick James feels like Terence Crawford needs to do more, accomplish more in the welterweight division, and then that garners him Errol Spence going into a fight with Terence Crawford. He doesn't feel like the fight is big right now. So, of course, these comments, him saying that he don't feel like Terence Crawford deserves the opportunity right now and Terence Crawford needs to prove himself more, is going to garner backlash, right? It's going to garner feedback, right? Negative feedback, with that said. So it's understandable that the fans get upset and they say that, listen, it sounds like you're avoiding the fight. But I have to say this. We know that it just doesn't make sense for Errol Spence coming off a horrific car accident, October 10th, and going to a fight with Terence Crawford straight away, right? I made a video about this and I talked about this. It just makes all the sense in the world to go ahead and follow through with the fight that was already previously scheduled for January 25th against Danny Garcia. No slight against Danny Garcia. Not taking anything away from Danny Garcia. But Danny Garcia and Errol Spence could be a non-pay-per-view event to see where Errol Spence stands, to see what you get with Errol Spence. You don't want to put Errol Spence in the ring in the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. I had Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua pegged as the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, but obviously Anthony Joshua lost, so that fight lost some luster, and then Deontay Wilder just lost and lost his title, and so now it lost even more of his luster. So with that said, the biggest fight in the sport of boxing is Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Why would you want to make that fight straight away off of this situation with Errol Spence? Why wouldn't you want to give Errol Spence a quote-unquote, and this sounds disrespectful to Danny Garcia, and I don't want to sound disrespectful to Danny Garcia in no way, shape, or form, but the facts remain is that Errol Spence is going to be highly favored over Danny Garcia, obviously, and so that's the perfect fight for Errol Spence to get back on track. It's not a tune-up fight, but it's not the biggest fight in the sport of boxing either. I'll just put it that way. So, you know, as far as Derrick James's comments about Terence Crawford needing to accomplish more, he's not the only person that feels this way in the sport of boxing. The boxing fans have been clamoring and calling for Terence Crawford to fight Sean Porter, bigger names in the sport, in the welterweight division, not in the sport, in the welterweight division. Me personally, I think that Terence Crawford has accomplished enough in his career, and his resume is accomplished enough to garner an Errol Spence fight. I'm not one to believe that you have to accomplish all of these things in this particular weight class to garner big fights, because we wouldn't call for that from Floyd Mayweather, right? So we wouldn't call for that from other fighters, Andre Ward, Manny Pacquiao. When they come in the division, right, they deserve to fight because of their namesake and what they've done behind them. And so with that said, I believe Terence Crawford done enough in the sport to garner the fight. So I disagree with Derrick James when he says that he needs to accomplish more and needs to face bigger names. But I would like to see Terence Crawford face bigger names. I just don't think that the fight makes sense right now straight away after that car accident. Now, right after the Sean Porter fight, going into the Terence Crawford fight, I was all for it. Now, I would much rather see Errol Spence fight Danny Garcia and then go for a Terence Crawford fight. Errol Spence is looking to land the golden goose. Now, everybody wants to land. That being 8th-division Filipino superstar boxer, legendary WBA welterweight world champion, Manny "Pac-Man" Pacquiao. If Terence Crawford had the option to choose Manny Pacquiao over Errol Spence, he would choose Manny Pacquiao over Errol Spence. Believe that. He's already stated that, right? And so if Errol Spence is able to land Manny Pacquiao before he gets the Terence Crawford fight, that's a bigger money fight. Now, is it competitive-wise the biggest fight for the fans? No. Because Errol Spence is going to be favored in that fight. But you never know if Manny Pacquiao can turn back the hands of time. He's on the wrong side of 40. You just never know. But obviously, Manny Pacquiao is not looked at as the best welterweight in the division anymore. He's looked at as the third best welterweight. Terence Crawford, Errol Spence are 1 and 2. However you choose to put them, whichever order you choose to put them. But with that said, Manny Pacquiao is still going to be the bigger draw as far as revenue, money goes. He's a bigger sell. So, and he's a legend. So you want to put that legend on your resume for your legacy. And he has a title. So it's a unification bout, right? So Errol Spence goes in that bout. That actually makes the Errol Spence Terence Crawford bout that much bigger, because then it would be for undisputed. If Errol Spence is to land the Manny Pacquiao fight, beat Manny Pacquiao, he would then hold the WBC, IBF, and WBO, WBA world titles, and Terence Crawford holds the WBO. So the biggest fight in the sport of boxing just got even bigger, because then it's for undisputed. So I would much rather see him or Terence Crawford fight Manny Pacquiao first, and that fight be for undisputed. Makes that fight, the implications, what's on the line, the fight got that much bigger. So, you know, as far as his accomplishments, needing to accomplish more, I'm not a strong believer. I'm not a believer in you have to accomplish, you know, tons of things in this particular weight class to deserve a big fight in that weight class, because that's not how the sport of boxing goes. So I disagree with Derrick James when he says that. But as far as Terence Crawford fighting bigger names, the boxing world, the boxing fans, the boxing pundits have been calling for this for quite some time. So it's not something out of the ordinary. It's not strange, right? So, but this fight, I believe, like I said, Errol Spence needs to fight Danny Garcia. Terence Crawford should fight Sean Porter, and it makes the fight that much bigger. And either of these guys need to face Manny Pacquiao, so when they do square off, it's for undisputed. But let's see how this all plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Hey, this is Jasmine. Thank you for watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, soy Jasmine. Gracias por ver Sangre Azul Deportes TV. Gracias.